Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Hold Your Ground podcast. Yeah, okay, fucking nailed it. My name is Luis. I'm joined by Joe, and we got a special guest today. But before we get into that, I'm going to rant a little bit here. So let me get into my rant, and then we can get on to the guest. You okay with that, Joe?
Yeah, let her in.
Cool. All right, here we go. I even wrote this. We see with the supposed ending of the Iranian war what this regime's intentions are. The Monday after the war ends, this regime arrests 15 anti-fascists from Minnesota. All 15 suspects were charged with conspiracy to impede or injure a federal officer. Several also faced additional charges, including assault on a federal officer, interstate stalking, destruction of government property, interstate threats, and solicitation to commit a crime of violence. This is, of course, all bullshit in my opinion. These people did not do any of these things as far as I'm concerned. What this is aimed at is crushing voices that are against the racism and fascism that is happening in this country. This is designed to intimidate us as citizens into silence and complicity. We all know Trump needs to win this election. There's no doubt, and he's going to do whatever he needs to do to win. And the way to rally his base is against what they all hate, which is anti-fascist right now. They can't fucking stand us. Anyway, now to be anti-fascist is to be marked. Some Democrats and liberals think that this is still a game. And what I mean by that is many people are claiming the title of anti-fascist now because they see that the regime and its supporters are against it. And that's great. But I wonder, do they also understand what comes with that title? And that we can see the price is our freedom and possibly our lives? I'm wondering, are they committed to their anti-fascist ideology when the feds kick in their doors and drag them into a cage? Will they hold and be solid? Will they cave? Or will they cave and name every name in their heads? Blah. Words and meanings matter. Definitions matter. To take the mantle of anti-fascist means that you can no longer tolerate the status quo. It means you no longer think that voting will lead you solely to freedom, but that it's time for action. It's time for non-compliance. It's time for the destruction of white supremacy by any means possible. So if you're going to use that mantle, if you're going to use that title, if you're going to call yourself that, be aware of what comes with that. That's pretty much all I have to say on the matter. You can take or leave it however the fuck you will. Joe?
Word.
Back to you.
You ain't fucking wrong, dude. You ain't wrong. So as Luis said, this is the next episode of Hold Your Ground where you get working class culture without all the bigoted fucking bullshit. And I want to introduce our guest here. One thing that movements have always needed alongside strategy, solidarity, and commitment is the ability to laugh. Organizing against authoritarianism, racism, and exploitation can be exhausting work, and humor has long been one of the ways people build community, tell hard truths, and remind each other that the powerful are not invincible. Today's guest is Ryan Danley, a Portland-based stand-up comedian, podcaster, actor where he is the star of Mr. TV Man, and writer for The Hard Times, where he helps carry on a tradition of satire that takes aim at hypocrisy, reactionary politics, and the absurdities of modern life through a punk rock lens. At a time when the far right is trying to manufacture fear, division, and cynicism, comedy can do something important. It can cut through the propaganda, expose contradictions, and help people imagine that another world is possible. Ryan's work sits at the intersection of humor, culture, and politics, and I'm excited to talk with him about what that looks like today. I'm down to talk about comedy, organizing, punk rock culture, media, political polarization, how we stay engaged without losing our humanity, our sense of humor, or really whatever the fuck Ryan wants to talk about. So Ryan, my boy, welcome to Hold Your Ground. What you got, homie?
Thank you both for having me. This is I'm excited to be here. I love you both, so I'm excited to be part of it. When I got into doing comedy, I decided that I wanted to be like kind of a different sort of voice. I wanted to bring a different a different like level of like comedy. I mean, it's hard, you know, like I don't even almost sometimes like telling people I'm a stand-up comedian because immediately they're like, well, are you like a Kill Tony jackass or something like that? And like I'm the opposite of that. You know what I mean? Like I literally like, you know, like I try to bring a different energy and punch up and sort of like satire, like, you know, like masculinity and white supremacy and those sorts of things in my comedy a lot. So you know, I've tried to make that sort of the basis of everything I've done in comedy, and I like it. And I've been fortunate enough to write for the Hard Times, which is has a really good lens of. You know, they've always pushed a very leftist view of things, and I've had some great articles that, you know, like really tackled, you know, some things and that I feel strongly about, and have gotten some great responses. So I do appreciate being appreciated. Thank you very much. I do. So
Fucking A, man.
Good to
yeah,
have you here.
you know, like you know, and it is scary nowadays. I mean, because it is a different era. You know what I mean? And we are going to be targeted. You know, I mean, it's part of the whole Project 2025 or whatever. You know what I mean? Is to start treating anti-fascist actions as terrorism. You know, more extreme. You know, that if you're not in the boat, they are going to. If you're not trying to go through the proper means, because they want you to go through the proper means, because the means are set the fuck up against any sort of, you know what I mean? Like the channels are have been broken, which is why we're here, which is why they want us to use them. You know what I mean? Like so if we have people out here doing it, and they want people to be scared. They want like people to have done basically nothing and them to be able to, you know, call that. Remember when Trump had the like all those right wing quote unquote journalists, Andy, you know, and all those guys. They had them to the White House about all the violence they endured and all this sort of shit. You know, to like sort of prop up this idea that there's like, you know, that there's this dangerous element out here that is just violence against ideas. And unfortunately, like there's so many people who are willing to bite on that, who live, you know, if you live out in the middle of nowhere, and you've never dealt with anybody who's a leftist or anything, like you've been painted this narrative that is just like that there's just like these maniac kids out there who are just trying to kill everything and destroy, you know, it's wild.
It's ridiculous. I mean, to me, I think though the problem comes with not that people want to be anti-fascist. I think that's fucking awesome, right? But it's not seen through all the way, right? That it comes with silence. That anti-fascism is not some fashionable trend, that it's the cornerstone of any free society, as far as I give a shit, right? And that the anti-fascists that we all grew up, and I mean we, the three of us here, idolizing, appreciating, would not understand this mentality that we have in 2026 that are in the streets, right? Anti-fascism means something watered down now, and it cannot be watered down now of all times, I guess, is my point.
I mean, like I agree with your sentiment there, but I think the people in our past that we grew up idolizing would totally fucking understand. Look at the entire fucking hippie movement during that era, right? A bunch of fucking peace, love, fucking weirdos sitting out in the trees, hugging each other, and I don't know, dude, having weird sex that smells like fucking bug spray and fucking anal. You know what I mean? And they're like, yeah, dude, we're about it. You know, I mean, they're fucking not. So, like, I think that they would understand to an extent, right? But I think one of the interesting things that where Ryan was talking about, where, you know, people have this idea that there's just these people out there, these kids that are out there just to fucking wreak havoc and kill. It's funny to me because it's like Schrodinger's fucking Antifa, right? Because they don't know anybody, but at the same point, like, It's a blue-haired fucking Pop-Tart eating fucker in his mom's basement writing shit on a keyboard, but also a very violent fucking terrorist who's gonna come out and kill my grandma and make my fucking family gay.
Right. And I mean, for the record, they are going to turn their family gay.
Absolutely.
Which I'm pro everybody being just gay. So I mean, they do have the right to fear that because we are coming to turn them gay. But it's I think that like the past, I mean, like the hippie movement ultimately became like a lot of things. Like I think at its core, I think that personally, as somebody who was raised by hippies, and I feel like if the civil rights movement didn't happen during the hippie movement's pretty mild, because that was the real to me, the real revolution was the civil rights movement. You know what I mean? Like,
that is the
100%.
cornerstone of the American left. That is the first reason for the American left to exist,
exactly.
in my opinion.
And exactly. And I mean, there was unions and shit like that too. But it's but we so we look at this like situation with like the hippies, and like they get constantly being called like a left wing movement, and really, but I don't believe that they are. I think they're proto libertarianism, and I think like the big difference between me, like everybody's always said like punks and hippies are basically the same thing and all this shit. And it's not true. Like hippies are like a very like in their purest forms, hippies are a very like self-protective movement. Like, I don't want to take medicine. I don't want my kids going and learning this shit at school. I don't want my thing. You know what I mean? Where punks, at their core, this isn't always true, but like are more about protecting neighborhood and protecting community and protecting like ideas and and ultimately the hippies, nobody wants to talk about it, but we're kind of a failure. Not even kind of, you know what I mean? It's not like, I mean, we lost Vietnam, you know what I mean? So like, I don't like, you know what I mean? Like it didn't like, and it was, I almost think war is less popular now than even then, but all those hippies then turned into like, all capitalists, and you know what I mean, and and then spawned the liberalism movement, because the modern liberalism movement is bred out of hippieism, and it is exactly what it is, and it's like purest form, boiled down to just like middle class white liberals. Half those hippies too ended up voting for fucking Reagan, and like, you know what I mean, and like so.
But they've infected American anti-fascism too, I would say, right? What we call the American left right now, right? I think because it's infected with those same kind of self-serving people that you are describing,
and
right?
That's where I was trying to draw the comparison.
And I would say that it happened, to those of our listeners, in my opinion, it really, really kind of fucking took root in Trump one, because before that, the way I learned anything was some dude gave me a Subhumans tape when I was like 14 years old, right? And he was like, here, listen to this, right? Then in 2020, we have mass street demonstrations that people want to call about Black Lives Matter, but they're really about COVID, right? They weren't about Black lives. They were using black people once again to be out in the streets, and people thought that they were going to die. And it was such this influx of people that you had Teen Vogue writing articles about what to wear when you went to rallies. Teen Vogue writing articles about how to dress Black Bloc, right? So I think that this young generation, and I mean young generation from like 2020 on, you can be a fucking adult. If you're new out in the streets, you're new out in the streets. They have the dress. They have the slogans. They have the ability to smash things in anger, but they don't have the solidarity. They don't have the we are a part of a team. They have individuality of like we've bitched about it before. There's social media leftist quote unquote stars that have been seen autographing dildos and passing these dildos out to the crowd.
I could use a new dildo, but it's a
we all could.
So I'm gonna. You want a hot take? You want a hot take from me, and you're all gonna. Everybody can take it the way it is. A lot of times, I'm gonna blame. Right now in the modern world, I'm gonna blame Bernie Sanders.
Amen.
Bernie Sanders, like we saw, we saw a lot of people who were classified as liberals all of a sudden overnight become leftists because they felt like Bernie Sanders. It was a new identity. It felt stronger. They felt like they were sticking it to corporate Democrats, which is fine. They needed to get stuck to, but the reality is, at the end of the day, like with that sort of like Bernie Sanders is the turnstile hardcore band of politicians. You know what I mean? Like he's the gateway, but the problem is, and that's great, and in theory that should be great. That should be great. But the reality is you don't just get to become a leftist because you support one politician. You know what I mean? And we have to admit that Bernie Sanders is a lifelong politician. He is not. He is not. He is against. He is against reparations. He's against. I mean, he's very pro college. Well, why do you want like he's like everybody should go to college? Okay, that's great for what? Like, you know what I mean? Like college is great. Like, love college, love education, but also like that. A, it's ableist. B, you know what I mean? People should be able to support classes.
Classes.
It's, you know what I mean? It's a lot of different things. I watched him tell like a young black girl about who asked him about it. She's like, well, you can go to college and you can become basically college. I'm pro education, but a lot of college is geared towards working for businesses and working for, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not really geared towards like it's keeping you in the ruts, and you know what I mean. So like the problem is like you become like, so all these people became Bernie Sanders fans, and then they flooded the leftist market, and then you started seeing things like people be like, well, ACAB doesn't necessarily mean all cops. It's the concept of cops and all this shit. You're like, no, motherfucker, no, it
No.
means
No.
ACAB. You know what I mean? Like
It means your
this isn't
uncle.
like, yeah, this means fuck your uncle. But and so you start to see movements get watered down because there was almost to a point where it's like, hey, like this is nothing against like Bernie Sanders as a person or whatever, I mean personally I think he would be nearly useless as a president because he has great ideas, but I don't think he has the moves. You know what I mean? Like because he's never really done much about it. You know what I mean? Of course, it would.
I mean, he's kind of a nationalist too, to be honest with you. And some of his foreign policy at best is suspect
Yeah,
in my
and
eyes,
yeah,
and is not very
and
leftist.
I mean, also you would need like 10 leftist people because like everybody's got different ideas. We're gonna need like two tankies. We're gonna need, you know what I mean? We're gonna need two.
No, but I mean, like for example, Bernie Sanders has not been very loud either about ICE. He's not been very vocal
Yeah.
about ICE. He's been minimally vocal at best. He was not vocal about the slaughter of 150 plus young Iranian schoolgirls on the first day of this war, right? Bernie Sanders, at the end of the day, is like you said, he's a lifelong politician with a lifelong politician's reason for existing. Like Bernie can say whatever the fuck he wants because he's got great health care. Bernie's paying his rent this month. How many people do the three of us here, between the three of us, I guarantee we could name easily 150 people that we know personally that we love that are struggling. If we added them up all together, like all the people I know that are
I
struggling.
can barely pay my rent right now, and I mean, like, I work a full-time job. I get paid through a number of different other sources outside of work, through comedy, through book royalties, through I get paid through a number of different sources. Live in the cheapest apartment that I could find in this city. Me and my kid live together, and I still can't pay my shit, and it's like, I mean, it's nearly impossible to function as a human being right now, and and Bernie Sanders is there, and I think in the heart of hearts he probably does care, maybe more than the average politician, but I think the invite to liberals deciding that they were leftists has, like, I almost thought it was a psyop. You know what I mean? Like, it was almost like,
Oh,
like
It absolutely was, and
think
probably
it
still
is.
is, right?
think it is.
And like, we're going to send this guy, and it's going to make all the Democrats look bad. It's going to split the Democratic vote. And every single time, whether it was Ralph Nader or Ross Perot or any of these people that they throw out there, every time they throw like that third, like we're going to move it more left sort of person out there, like the Republicans have been the right wing. I don't even want to call them Republicans, but they're like the right wing has run through that offensive line. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
like they see that hole and they go for it. And because the upper hand will always be on the right wing in this country. We are a very right wing born country, and also like there is a lot of like arguably comfortable people, you know what I mean, who are convincing themselves that they're comfortable, and so that
I mean, so no, go ahead. I don't
no,
wanna,
convincing
bounce off
themselves
that, but
that
go
they're
ahead.
comfortable, and also like and bootlicking, you know what I mean. There's so many of those people who are so beholden to the propaganda, because we're a heavily propagandized country. I think England is probably the only more people I know from England will say like you are taught in your school that England is just the best and the cornerstone of society. And here in America, like we are very much taught like nationalistic sort of ideals from the
I mean, yeah, no, what you're saying is absolutely right. And the leadership, the quote unquote leadership of the American left is, in my opinion, it's laughable and it's absolutely harmless.
right.
Right? And that's why they are our fucking leaders. Even and like I'm not sitting here fucking putting anything on my personal agenda, but like even the militant left's quote unquote leaders in this country are full of shit and want to support their lifestyle. Right? Fucking we forget that like we support there's all kinds of great fucking leftist literature out there. All right? Some of it's put out by companies that call themselves leftists but have the same agenda as any other corporation. Right? Which is to make money for your fucking CEO at the end of the day.
I think like I mean honestly like I think like one of the reasons they went against TikTok, I mean, is honestly like guys like Joe. Joe terrifies those guys. Joe is a veteran. Joe is pro Second Amendment. Joe is not a blue-haired kid who lives in his mom's basement. Maybe you do. I don't know. But I mean, actually, you know what? Living in your mom's basement gets a bad rap. I mean, really. Like in this modern day, like it's like I could never. I would lose my fucking mind if I don't live in my parents' basements. But let people live where they want to. I mean, it's tough out there.
I've been watching the Righteous Gemstones really fast. And just say living in a compound.
That's what I was gonna say. I just want to throw out there too that like I honestly feel like that fucking living in your mom's basement thing is really a fucking underhanded fucking white supremacist fucking gig, dude. Because at the end of the day, there is so many fucking cultures where multi-generational living, it's a fucking way of life. Dude, it's what you do to take care of your parents, to take care of your elders, shit like that. Look in the indigenous community, look in fucking the Mexican community, look fucking all over the world in other places where people aren't fucking pale fucking whitey.
Yes,
and it's all about fucking that multi-generational taking care of your family.
But see, you're right, but you're also wrong, because I think that was a great joke that pointed out a certain type of white guy that does live in his mom's basement, whacking it, like, right, fucking on the internet. Fucking that chode. Like fucking an Andy No would be the immigrant version of that, right?
But he's not, dude. He's fucking rich. Right?
He is, and he lives in England now. But okay, fucking Joey Gibson then, because Joey Gibson had to pay me with his mom's money. Okay, how about that?
That's my
Like
that's
he
my
had to give me his
favorite.
check from his
That's
mom's money.
my favorite story out there. I'm but
I got one. You want to hear? You want to hear one real quick, Ryan? That might
yeah,
top it. All right, dude.
Oh,
So
wait,
check
wait,
this out.
wait.
Since we were
Is it?
talking about these
Yeah.
Billy badasses in mom's basements and this, that, and the other, and all that shit. So no shit. There I was in my heyday of the TikToks when I was all fucking blowing up on there, and I get a message from this fool, right? And he goes, "I'm gonna come fucking kill you." And I was like, "All right, do whatever you got to do," you know. And he writes me back and he goes, "I don't think you get it. I can tell where you're at from your videos. I'm going to come fucking shoot you." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool. Like, I don't think you get it, Playboy. I'm not a fucking 19-year-old kid running around Portland in a ski mask. You want it? Come get it, baby. Any fucking time." So he goes, "I'll be there on fucking Tuesday," or some shit like that, right?
Tuesday rolls around.
Yeah, Tuesday rolls around. Dude doesn't make it, right? But he is on the fucking news. Mind you, this is a self-proclaimed president of the North Coast chapter of Patriot Prayer. And he didn't make it to my house, but he made it to the grocery store not far from my house. And he was fucking around. He was appendix carrying a Glock. I don't know if you know anything about
I do.
Glocks, but they don't have
Yeah.
safeties. Yeah, they don't have safeties. So he's fucking appendix carrying this Glock, and he's fucking around with it. And it goes kapow and shoots himself through the dick and into his thigh in the grocery store, like 10 minutes from my bed. And so I was like, "Oh shit, I see this fool on the news, this old motherfucker." So of course I had to go back to the TikToks because this is where it all started, right? They made him a video and like fucking tagged him in it and everything. I was like, "Yo, fool, I know you think I'm a dickhead, but not all dickheads are the same, and you shot the wrong one, homie." And then fucking he deleted all this shit and fucking left it.
Oh,
As a big
that's
funny
so
thing, and then I
good.
got criminal today.
That's gorgeous, and he never gets to have any more kids. So good for him. I'm sure his
Yep.
sister's happy. But it's but really, like when you started blowing up on there, you know what I mean. But like you scared the shit out of them, you know what I mean? Like because they don't want. I've gotten this before too. Is they don't know how to deal with dudes that sort of could be them, you know what I mean? Like they're real good at being like brown, blue hair, like colors scare them for whatever reason. But like, you know what I mean? Like it's like, but like when shaved head white dudes start coming around and stuff like that, it's like it's I mean, I'll tell you, it's a little bit of attack on hardcore too, because like they see hardcore shows being a place where like leftist ideals are going down. Like you see big ass truck getting fucking in the Inland Empire, getting 10,000 white and Chicano kids to fucking cheer and shit like that together. And you know what I mean? Like it scares them, you know what I mean? Because I mean, it's the Fred Hampton shit, you know what I mean? Like on a different level, it's like they don't want any, they like it a lot better when it's like a certain people that they can demonize, but when it's them, all of a sudden it like, you know, because I'll go to deer camp and start talking about leftist politics and like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's and those dudes are you know, these guys wouldn't listen to these guys watch Fox News and wouldn't do fucking don't think anything, and then all of a sudden you're sitting right there next to them, you know, with a rifle and getting ready to do the thing, and you're like, no, man, like fun schools, fuck the police, fucking, you know what I mean? They're like, well, yeah, you know, all of a sudden they start opening their ears because they're so used to like it coming in a package, and it's sad that it has to be like that. But that's the fucking. It's like so they're terrified of a group of three guys like us coming together and fucking chatting because they don't fucking want this shit, dude. They want it. They want it to be fucking you know, weird ass kids in ski masks on the street that they can fucking paint. But when you know, when you just look like a fucking like a tough dude at the fucking convenience store, yeah, they're like, oh fuck, like that breaks the narrative, you know.
Word. So I
I
think
don't know.
that
Here's the thing, but like while we like, I think while it's important to remember the base level, street level chud is a dipshit. There's some smart people behind this insidious fascist movement that's fucking taking us over, right? Like Joe Rogan is complicit in this, and like in indoctrinating young people and playing on. I mean, because these racists, they're not the racists of like the civil rights movement. Those people are dead. These are their
Yeah.
grandkids, right? These kids come from somewhere.
I
I don't
think.
know.
I mean, for me though, like
Sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Joe, did you? Were you?
No, do your thing, right?
Like,
Go for
so
it.
I mean, to me, like racism has always been like such a spectrum. You know what I mean? Like, some people are like, you know, like it's and like and that works against it. Like everybody in their mind has this one thing that's like a racism. You know what I mean? Like they picture it the real racist guy from the movie. You know what I mean? And it's like, and you can really see it when people are like, "Yo, well, I have black friends and this and that." And it's like there's like a very small percentage of like racists that will like fundamentally not have anybody in their life of, you know what I mean? That's a small percentage of actual racists. Most racists do know all sorts of people and do it's like it's less about like what you have in your life and it's more about like how you function as a like how you vote and how you politicize and you know what I mean? Because you can say you're anti-racist, but if you are like actively like still supporting like racist oppressive systems, you're just fundamentally not. You know what I mean? And so yes, yes.
No, I was just like, that's an interesting point, right? That you just said that most racists know people of color because I think it's opposite here in this wonderful little bubble in which the three of us reside in. Because I know a lot of leftists that don't know very many people
Mhm.
of color, if at all,
Well, yeah,
right? So
yeah.
I
That's
just,
I'm more speaking right wing people, but like, yeah, there are definitely tons of leftists who are. I call it. This is going to be a hot take, but I call it, college bookstore blue collar. You know what I mean? Like where it's like, like where it's like I'm a blue collar supporter, and like, and I, argue with some people like in the leftist movement about shit. And like people don't want to hear it. Like sometimes, like I've been in part of two unions, and they both sucked. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that needs to be addressed, and like, like just everybody's like, I want to be in a union, and then you get a union, you're like, I'm just paying for like a shitty protection. You know what I mean? It ends up being like a second job. So unions need to be addressed. And you say that, and people are like, "Oh, don't say anything bad about unions." I'm like, no, it's okay to say like, like another situation that even like you can join a union and have that union be fucking simply just in bed with the other corporation that you work for and shit like that. And like, like there's a lot of, it's all real easy when you read books about stuff, but when you get out there in the real world and you have to look at why so many blue collar people end up being super conservative. And it is because of a fundamental misunderstanding of leftism and working class rights and like the actual realities of being a working class person. I grew up, my dad was a carpenter, my mom was a cocktail waitress when I was a kid, and then she ended up being like doing the books for a roofing company for my most of my childhood. I grew up surrounded by like legitimately like blue collar. My dad still is still pounds nails and still does projects, and worked himself nearly to death on that. And like I grew up in real blue collar, and then like you hear leftists who grew up in middle class means, and then went to college, and then like and now are like, well, oh, this is what it has to be, and then are kind of explaining it to blue collar people, and it's sometimes it's embarrassing to watch. You know what I mean? Like like there's a reason why there's a fundamental miss between leftism leftist movements and actual blue collar workers.
why, what?
And so one of the things too that I want to point out with that is that like with what you said, like it is okay to question the fucking unions and the shit like that, right? Because the first step to making anything better is admitting that there's a fucking problem, recognizing that there's a fucking problem. And for anybody who's listening too, I want you to fucking realize that when you are part of a union, you are the
Mm-hmm.
fucking union. Everybody bitches about what unions do or don't fucking do, and that's why they either do or don't want to join them, but they don't realize that the union does what you fucking tell it to do, right? So like my union has a fucking shit ton of, I'm part of one of the largest fucking labor unions in the world, right? And there's a lot of things that happen that I vehemently disagree with. But I can show up and voice my fucking opinion on it. And the thing is that not a lot of people show up to fucking union meetings across the fucking board. So you have fucking a group of 20 people who are making decisions for everybody in the fucking union because nobody wants to take the time to show up and put in the fucking effort to fucking change it into what they want. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, every single union, it's up to the membership to decide what fucking happens. Now, are there ones that are fucking totally corrupt and the business managers and this, that, and the other do the shit? Sure, right? But even then, per international fucking regulation or national regulation, depending on which fucking union you're in, you can call a vote of no confidence. And if there's enough people that feel strongly and you can rally people to show up to a fucking meeting, you can make that change. You know what I mean?
No, and like so fundamentally, and I should back off this and say, you know, there are some unions that are better than other unions in general. I unfortunately worked in food, and like unions with large labor pools struggle with leverage. It's just the way it is. Grocery store unions, fucking like all these, they just struggle with leverage. You know what I mean? Like the grocery store, the U.S. You know, both Safeway and Fred Meyer are the same union, and they, you know, those people constantly, like Safeway does better than Fred Meyer, but like Fred Meyer one year didn't like give out fucking raises, they just gave out bonuses, real shitty things that, like, you know what I mean? So it is about making sure that your union is doing it, but there are a lot of people who are like, they're like, I'm paying into this every month, and now I have to do all this shit, and I have to do all these things. So whether we can change unions and things like that, of course, there are methods to that, and there are people who are active in that. I'm just saying, like, the fundamental understanding that not everybody who's in a union fucking loves it, and that it's not just the answer to everything is a miss from leftists. And it's like, and I'm not here to say anything bad about unions, except for the fact that the unions sometimes aren't doing much that they need to be doing, and everybody gets so terrified of even bringing that up. But unfortunately for the mom who works in the Midwest, who isn't maybe 100% this or that and just trying to take care of her kids and do the shit, who doesn't have, you know, is like, why am I paying all this money into something? And that's when like populist people like Trump and shit like that sneak their way in, because populism is really good for disenfranchised working class.
But I think we also, like, you know, grocery unions aren't powerful because we no longer have a tradition of supporting the working class. Right? Not in this country, at least, meaning that, like, people will cross a picket line if it's convenient for them. Okay, so your local Fred Meyer isn't going to really feel comfortable out there striking because people are still going to cross because they need fucking lettuce, right? They need their organic tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't respect them. And like, I was just thinking, like, why is it in America that we differentiate? Like, when we say working class, we mean specifically white working class. It does, the working class, like when you say it, like, hear it on the news amongst us three, I know it's different, but like, you know, in everyday vernacular, working class means white people.
For the record, the mom that I was thinking, of in the Midwest, for the record, was Puerto Rican. So I, you know, okay. Just
right. No, not that. I was just.
I just want you to know.
I was thinking about the news, but like, but yeah, like, no, we don't respect working class people of any sort in this country, right? Like fucking, I know a lot of cuntbag vegans that ultimately don't give a fuck where their strawberries come from, and what they give a fuck about is if they have strawberries.
No, and that's, I mean, like, and as somebody who worked in produce for a million years, I mean, we can really get into, like, if you want to have a big long conversation about agricultural economy, that would be a whole other podcast. But as somebody who
it absolutely would be, and we need to get into that, how it's exploitive.
Well, and also the cornerstone of pretty much all like of all our problems in this world, like I mean, we can go on. I've been to the banana plantations in Colima, Mexico. I've been to all this shit, and like, and if you really want to see poverty, like the real poverty, and what the effects of a unprotected working class are, I venture to anybody to fly to Colima, Mexico, one of the most beautiful places on earth, filled with some of the most fabulous human beings in the existence of humankind, and the most generous, like walking through Colima, like people like cooking on the street, like offering you the food, and so just the kindest human beings that like have ever that I've ever personally encountered, and a sense of community that this country could actually just take notes from, and but the incredible poverty that is bestowed on those human beings, because your bananas have never crossed. Nobody will charge more. Bananas should be two. If bananas went the same price, I worked in produce from 1999. I worked in restaurants before that. I started working in natural grocery stores in 1999. Worked all the way up until tariffs cost me my job 2 years ago, and that's a very real thing. The tariff conversation cost me my job because it sent a wave through produce. I was a buyer for a large national company and got laid off with 300 other people one morning, and haven't been able to get a produce job since. If you want to see the true realities of unprotected working class, go to Colima, walk those neighborhoods, see those people living in shacks, literal something like 70% of the world's what they call like endangered poor, like endangered and impoverished, work in agriculture, and it is literally a crime. In 1999, organic bananas were 99 cents a pound. If you go into a natural grocery store right now, organic bananas will be still 99 cents a pound. And I will tell you that no CEO, nobody else has lost any money. I'm just going to tell you that in that time period, wherever the world is twice as expensive to exist in, nobody with white skin or kids who have college hopes or anything like that ever lost a penny based on the price of bananas. That price has solely been fucking put down towards the people who pick it. And
I can tell you that the banana wars and the power that American companies had over indigenous people, indigenous communities, indigenous lands to exploit them, not only for bananas, but sugar, coffee, and the last great sin, which is the cocaine. Right? Like, look, I'll say it here. I don't give a fuck what you do in life, but if you do cocaine, you fucking hate brown people.
yeah,
Go fuck yourself. If you do cocaine of any sort, you hear me? You fucking hate brown people. So go fuck yourself. But yeah, the like you said, the poverty that is still felt in these communities because these exploitative systems still exist.
Man, I used to love
right?
doing. I'm sober, but like, man, big fat quarter-gram bump. You know what I mean? Like you do it at work, makes you better at customer service. You know what I mean? Like you get that,
makes you better at life.
Just like focuses right in. You're like, oh, I got ADHD.
I mean, I've often wondered if you could make if you could organically grow the coca beans, if you could pay the farmers what they are owed, and source everything ethically, what a gram of organic, ethically sourced cocaine would go for.
Ethically sourced organic medical cocaine, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like if they were passing out free medical cards for cocaine, like they did with weed a while back, I'd go down there and be like, I have too much feeling in my face. What do you got? I don't talk about parties. What do you got?
But you know the horrors that we endure that we inflict on people for our taste buds as a country, and we don't think about, right? Like, again, a vegan doesn't give a fuck where they get their strawberries from so long as they get their strawberries.
Yeah, I did some veganism in my 20s. Yeah, I'm a punk kid, you know what I mean? I'm a hardcore kid, so you dabble in that shit. and it really did become like, I fucking hated other vegans, so I really hated telling people I was vegan. Like, there are so many vegans that just used it around me. And there are some fine ones out there, very much so. Mostly hardcore vegans were actually okay, like hardcore kid vegans, not hardcore vegans. You know what I mean? Like people like
Yeah, no, like
people
hardcore.
from the hardcore community who are vegans were actually less annoying than just like vegans because they were just simply using it as a like weird look at me sort of thing.
Bro, and then it's branched out to so many weird fucking things. Like raw foodists can get fucked, bro. If you're like a fruitarian and you're the fucking type that
Right.
fucking only eats what fucking falls down from the tree, go fuck yourself. Like seriously.
It's just like and at the end of the day, it's just all elitism, and you know what I mean. And like, and it's like you get to be choosy about your food. You better fucking you better be pretty fucking thankful every day that you get to be choosy about your food, because like it's pretty like working in food. It's like we're all pretty fucking close to like absolutely food collapses, and nobody even understands how easy it is for something to just happen. It's like, you know, and it's just like with tariffs and all of that, nobody really just grow shit that's in America. Okay, well, what do you better like eating salt come February, you know what I mean? Like it's like I don't know what to tell you.
I believe we're on the verge of the Great American Famine.
Well, I mean, like, yeah,
like we see. I mean, we're a country that fucking grows way too much corn and fucking soy and wheat anyway, right? I mean, we can't feed ourselves anyway as a nation, right? I mean, we have the land mass, but our farmers don't they grow these ridiculous crops, not enough to feed ourselves. We have fired, or let's be honest, we haven't fired. We have deported and put in cages a whole labor force that we depend upon to get your fucking. I mean, I don't see one white dude at the slaughter. I don't see one dude named Todd at the slaughterhouse.
You know, like
I don't see a Tristan.
it's actually pretty incredible. Like, so like Oregon strawberries. So we have like you know, like different types of strawberries, and unfortunately, like so like transient labor like works in California, and they're still in California when the Oregon strawberries are being picked. So there's nobody really to pick them. So they're all being sent. So when anybody's like, "Oh, we'll hire Americans," it's like they can't hire Americans in situations that like they have to grow through cycles. So many decisions are made on actually having people pick stuff. Like people don't even understand that. Like it's like we're already short people. Like we can't get people to Oregon in the spring because there's still enough work in California to keep them there. So getting people up here is really fucking nearly impossible. So they come up after that season's done for other things, but they miss that part of the season. So that pretty much all of those Oregon strawberries just get sent to jam because you know, because it's just because they can pick that with a machine, not by hand, you know. So it's like we live in this situation where it's like, you know, that people just don't understand because like they have this thing in their head where it's like, oh, hire Americans and buy American and stuff like that. Like that ship had sailed fucking, like if you wanted to save the American car industry and not buy Japanese cars, that shit would have had to stop in like 1980. You know what I mean? Like
Before
yeah, I
that,
mean,
bro.
really, when the Japanese cars hit the market, and we did have bad trade deals and shit like that. But now, like, there's more jobs in fucking coming and going than there are in American factories. You know what I mean? So, like,
I mean, American factory jobs only really existed because we bombed every German and Japanese factory into oblivion, right? And when those started to come online in the 70s, like you pointed out, with the fucking oil embargo and stuff. I mean, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember fucking the long lines of gas in the 70s with the oil embargo that happened for a minute. I'm barely old enough to remember it. So, but like I remember it being a thing. I remember seeing people lined up. I remember seeing it on the news. We are fucked.
Yep.
And if we don't find something better real quick, we're super screwed for endless reasons. Cars, fucking food, and I worry about that we have a whole generation of anti-fascists that fucking without their phones couldn't get to fucking 7-Eleven,
Yep.
boys.
Yep.
Right?
So that's the thing, right? It's also this weird fucking demonized thing I've noticed amongst the left, right? Because like I was a commercial fisherman for most of my life. Like I know how to go fucking find, catch, kill, and process and prepare fucking seafood better than anybody than either one of you have ever met. Guaranteed. Right? I also fucking hunt. I know how to go fucking hunt deer or elk or pigs or fucking birds or whatever. And I also know that's everybody thinks like, oh, I'll just go fucking shoot. They don't understand like the whole entire process after you
How you gonna address it? Yeah.
Process after you fucking kill an animal. There's a whole bunch of knowledge that needs to happen. But that knowledge is like demonized by a lot of people on the left, right? That's viewed as the fucking redneck shit with the fishing and hunting and the fucking this, that, and the other. And it's super fucking weird.
Yeah,
to
they
me.
don't.
It's
And
They
when I
don't
say
understand the
I want to point out when I say the left, I just want to point out real quick. When I say the left, I don't mean like the fucking legitimate left, but all these people who are claiming that, oh, I'm a leftist, oh, I'm a fucking this, I'm a that. Like,
no, I
dude,
think
like,
Ryan pointed
you're
it out
fucking
earlier.
dumb, is
Yeah,
what you are.
the guys that are like I'm not gonna say his name, but he's a cuntbag and he knows I fucking hate him. But he calls himself a second generation anarchist, right? and like this is the problem, and I think Ryan pointed it out earlier. Is the difference is that you have a whole bunch of people, right, that went to college and are educated, but then want to turn around and tell a whole working class that they're doing it wrong. All right, whatever it is, that they are too smug in their arrogance and that they know better than fucking all of us. And these leaders are rooted in every town and community in the United States, and they say that they're not racist. But fucking the litmus test for calling a white person a racist, let me tell you, is just telling them that they're racist. Fucking right? Like nothing will make a white anti-racist, and I put that in quotations, fucking more angry than if you call them a fucking racist. The people that are real with themselves will look at you and be like, "Yeah, you're right. How I'm fucking trying, bro."
Yeah, and that's it. Is like if you think, and I've said this forever. It's like I don't. It's like I also don't like call myself a feminist. Like I strive to feminism. You know what I mean? Like I get up every day and I want to be. I want to work towards anti-racism. I want to work towards feminism. I want to work those sorts of things. But like to believe that like. To like say that you're not racist or say that you're a feminist or something like that, it's like it just takes you out of damage control. And it like, you know what I mean? If you think fucking thousands of years of indoctrination that still is so rampant in our society just ends at your toes, you are a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? And like, you just already have it fucking figured out. Like if you don't see things daily that trigger like pattern recognition in your brain and things like that. This isn't like something you just get to decide one day. You know what I mean? This is like something that takes work. It takes effort, and it takes like an understanding that sometimes that is uncomfortable. Not even just as a white person, but just as a man, that we are fundamentally a flawed culture, and to believe that I'm not part of that for any reason is a mistake and dangerous. You know what I mean? More.
So what you're saying is absolutely right.
I think sometimes it's more dangerous than the active racists who are like, no, I'm a piece of shit and I know it. You know what I mean? Like,
amen. So story time, really short, fast. So Joe and I were what we called ourselves farmers. Okay. We felt we met a group of fucking white people, white liberals / progressives, and and they tolerated me and Joe. Right? Like, so, and because no one talked like to them or about things in a manner that we do, right? We also we had battle shits one day on a fucking live stream where we took shits at the same time. And we're like, hey, taking a shit, hey. So these people had never seen anybody like us, right? And so they thought we were cool and neat and hip, right? With the things that we said. And we felt good about it. Like Joe and I would talk and we were like, hey, we're doing it, bro. We are
Pop's
fucking
looking good.
We're farming these white people. We were stroking each other off, Ryan. Right? Fuck, bro. Like two farmers jerking off in a cornfield. Anyway,
I will say real quick though, just as an interrupt, there was one out of the two of us who was very apprehensive about the whole thing. Like, I don't know, man.
okay,
These
you're right,
people
bro.
are
And I was
fucked.
real Joe Farmer. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was fucking goddamn Johnny Appleseed, okay? Fucking, I'm like, we are doing it, dude. We're building crops. Like we were playing Farmville. And here's the thing. They went along with us. We got them to fuck voting, fucking there is no wrong way to protest, fuck the police, ACAB means everybody. They were along the line. Ask me where we lost them. Like the whole fucking group.
Where?
White women,
Yeah.
bro. Because in the American fucking left, white women are fucking Schrodinger's fucking oppressed class. They are both oppressed and have a shit ton of fucking power. Right? I have seen white women cancel black dudes for using words that are prevalent in the fucking black community, but because white people find them offensive, you're
Right.
dunzo. Get the fuck out of
And
here, bro. Right? Like,
It's
who was next to fucking old fucking Adolf Eichmann? Fucking Mrs. Eichmann, bro. Fucking
yeah, it's hard because it is like a Schrodinger's cat. It is like, and I try not to get battle oppressed class because women are clearly oppressed, and there is
Absolutely.
a problem within leftist community and I'm dealing with it right now where everybody's can be real fucking amazing about like everybody's an ally and everybody's anti-racist and everybody's this and that, but then their friend fucking has allegations. I'm dealing with a couple people right now. Their friend has an allegations or beat on a woman, you know what I mean? And like everybody drags their feet because it's their homies. And so like there's like there's two sides of it because there is two sides of this. Like white women can't just sit back and sadly, like I hate to invoke because I'm a comedian. I hate to invoke the name Bill Burr, but like he did have a great piece on white women like just sitting in the fucking hot tub with us. You know what I mean? Like it's like.
Okay, so he did, and I love that piece. That's why I came up with like Mr. Eichmann. But you know what? And I talked to Joe about this when we brought you up. So thank you for bringing him up, okay? Because here's the thing. The American left's hypocrisy is found in the acceptance of Bill Burr. Okay? And before I say that, let me look. Dave Chappelle, okay, is past his prime. His fucking, in my opinion, like his observations on race have always been dead on. But that's about it, okay? His take on trans fucking the community, fucking anything, wrong. Let me fucking go ahead and say that, okay? But Bill Burr told a trans joke too.
Yeah.
About a UFC fighter fucking he says, what's he gonna do? Beat me with his dick? Right? But yet but the American left embraced him. Never had any setbacks, suffering of his career. His career only continued in an upward trajectory.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. And I'm not a, you know, I am not a pro Bill Burr guy. I do think that bit was funny, and I do like that as a white guy who is married to, like, he's a white guy who's married to a black woman and has black kids, that he does use that platform to be like kind of vocalize like that intersectionality, which is rare. So he can be both things like Dave Chappelle, which is like Dave Chappelle's like race talk. Dave Chappelle, as a stand-up comedian, is the most overrated stand-up comedian of all time after Bill Hicks. But people just invoke Bill Hicks's name, and if you sat down and watched a Bill Hicks special, you would be like, you know, and
Yeah,
Chappelle is the same way. Chappelle has one of the greatest comedy specials of all time, and that's his first one, which is Killing Him Softly. Nobody ever talks about the fact that though he was in Hollywood for 10 years before that, and I have this weird conspiracy theory that he's actually a psyop. But anyways, that's a whole different conversation. But that they sent him out to muddy the waters, and so to speak. You know, so like of conservatism, because the great thing about fascism is really all you need to do is hold up one tent pole. You know what I mean? Like you don't need. It's not like leftism where we need to be kind of like across the board working on things and being better because we have such a massive amount. They just need you to go over there and be like, okay, you're going to be anti-queer. Fundamentally, you're going to be anti-queer, because even if it's not just trans, it's like queerness gets wrapped up into that, and it's like conservatism and things like that. So they just need him to go out there and hold up that tent pole, and speak to a community that can be conservative sometimes socially. But his joke about what is 15 really is really one of the most brilliant jokes of all time. You know what I mean? Like it's about a 15-year-old Elizabeth Smart who was kidnapped, and like and she was like taking a mile from home. He's like, "This is my bus stop." You know what I mean? Like I think that was funny. But then talking about a 15-year-old black kid who murdered a kid playing basically horse playing, and how the different reactions to that, and that is one of the most brilliant joke writing ever. To his trans jokes, which are just dumb as fuck. You know what I mean? Not only are they morally incorrect, but also just bad joke writing. And so like
they're not.
It's
funny.
just like for whatever reason, Dave Chappelle thinks that trans people are still funny, like we did when like a lot of people did when we were fucking 12. You know what I mean? And he can't get over that, and now is so entrenched in that it's become like a harmful.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I guess for me, and I agree with you, but I guess for me, the problem is that if you are a person of color, okay, so look, how many white sexual predators have gone down? Like really, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Like right, like big ones, right? But Bill Cosby, fucking Puff Daddy, R. Kelly, and I am not saying that these people are not pieces of shit. I am in no way defending these fucking human beings, right? Fucking, but the list is endless.
I mean, everybody
right?
hates everybody.
Like Mike. Everybody forgets Mike Tyson was a goddamn rapist, right? Fucking. And an abuser. He fucked up Robin Givens too. Gave that woman a black eye, right? But like, so cool. All these people should be in jail, absolutely. But when the fuck are the white predators gonna go? When are these Aerosmith, Def Leppard, fucking all these dudes,
fucking
bro.
People that don't want to talk about fucking sacred fucking cows that nobody wants to fucking talk about. Fucking David Bowie. I mean, David Bowie fucked 14-year-olds, you know what I mean? And dressed like a Nazi for a while.
He was a fucking fascist. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, Susie Sue.
Exactly. So you have all of these things. Yeah, it's I could talk about that, like the support of the things like that. Yes, I am not a pro Bill Burr or honestly celebrity comedians as a working comedian is just nothing I'm into at all. I work with some amazing people who have decided not to become celebrity comedians, Kyle Kinane and things like that, who are actually good dudes, you know what I mean? And who have just not decided to become celebrities. And so so it's a different thing.
Hey, while we're naming shitbag fucking alternative people, just let me put this on the record. Hey, Pat Schmear, if you're ever listening to this, you're a piece of shit too. Go fuck yourself. And your fucking band, fuck you, the Germs. Fucking get the fuck out here. Anyway, I fucking hate that band. Fuck that band, bro.
All right.
Fucking anyway, but hey, so let me ask you this. Who's your funny fucking Who's your funniest comedian right now? Who besides yourself? Who do you
Oh God,
fucking really fucking find it
I think
going
I'm the
on?
worst comedian in the world. It's that's how art works. People are like, "Oh, become an artist." Hippies were always like, "Be free, become an artist." No, real artists hate themselves and hate their lives. That's just it's just never fun. It will never be fun.
Okay, wait. Can I like some of my work? But I mean, I'm on board with hate myself and hate my life. But I
Yeah,
do like
you
some
can
of my
like
work.
some of your work, but I just always think something can be better. That's just like the broken part of my brain.
Fair. No. Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. Who makes you laugh right now? Who tickles your funny bone?
God, that Rory Scovel. I would say go watch the Rory Scovel's special last year. I can't remember off the top of my head. Is fucking amazing. I opened for Roy Woods Jr. in downtown, which is like one of the highlights of my life.
That dude is funny.
And just was such a fucking good dude to like such a. You never know how people are gonna. You're gonna meet these guys and how it's gonna be. And he had seen my tape. A friend of mine sent me his tape who had worked with him when they were young, and he hit me up. He was like, "Oh man, I love your stuff." And just to hear that from that guy was just like one of those moments. So I think Roy Woods Jr. His specials are all real good. It's such a tier. You know what I mean? But like, I would do Rory Scovel. Ben Roy's special Hyena is on Hulu. It's super good. He's a great guy. He sings for two like fun punk bands. He sings for a hardcore band called Arson Charge, and he sings for a kind of like party punk band called Spells, which is just a super good time. Ben Roy, great dude. Bailey Pope, she's a friend of mine. She's a hardcore kid too, trans woman. We just toured the Midwest together, and she's great. I got some exciting stuff coming up this year that I can't announce yet about working with people. But yeah, that's kind of where Eddie Pepitone is amazing. Maria Bamford is amazing. Maria Bamford is just like such a savant of comedy and weirdness and art. Like she's like a pure artist. So I would go, yeah, Bamford. Judah Friedlander is pretty amazing. His crowd work stuff is you guys probably recognize him from being on 30 Rock. He was
Yeah, Judah's pretty funny.
I like his crowd work shit. It's pretty funny. Yeah, it's weird because it's like a tier. You know what I mean? I think John Mulaney's an amazing joke writer. Taylor Tomlinson is an amazing joke writer. Like she's like a 5-tool player. She might be like truly like the best right now at just like joke writing, delivery. Her shit is so like it's hard to watch it and not like and go tell your stupid jokes someplace else. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh fuck. So yeah, that's kind of like it's hard when people ask me that. I'm always like, okay, well you better be prepared. Get a pen and paper. Yeah, I strongly suggest everybody check out. Bailey Pope has a special. I think it's on Prime. It's called also known as, and then Ben Roy has a special on Hulu called Hyena, and I would strongly suggest both of those.
Nice. You hopeful for this country, bro? Let's switch gears up again now.
Am I hopeful for America? No. I mean, I don't like. I just think there just needs to be such a fundamental change that like, and I don't think that there's ever going to be like a Band-Aid to like switch it. I think there are a lot of really great people in America. I really do. And, but I don't, the fundamental changes structurally that would need to happen and the ideas that need to change I will be impressed. The amount of revolution that would need to occur is going to take is a thing. I mean, we're going to keep fighting for it. We're going to keep doing it. I'm not, I'm in what I call post cynicism. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even like cynical about it all anymore. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know. What about you? What do you think, Joe? You think America's got a future? Yeah.
I don't. I mean, it has a future.
Well, yeah.
Sure. Is it one that I like? No.
Top line, you're always really hopeful when we talk, Joe. You're like,
totally.
You're like, vote blue. We're getting behind the Dems this time.
You know what, dude? I do. So I read something the other day and it made fucking perfect sense to me. And it is why I'm not fucking hopeful, right? Because fucking at the end of the day, white supremacy has such a hold on the fucking United States that it's not going to fucking change. There's no fucking way that it's going to change, right? So anyways, the thing that I read the other day was that Republicans are racist and secretly gay,
Mhm.
right? Democrats are gay and secretly
Right.
fucking racist. And what, you know, and I truly fucking believe that shit, right? And obviously there's outliers in both of those fucking groups. But at the end of the day, I watch what is purviewed as the American left, which is the Democrat Party when you think about it on the mass talking scale. It'd be the Democrats, the progressives, liberals, things like that. They don't really want things to fucking change. They don't really give a shit about what's happening. They care about the optics of it. And I say that because if we look back in recent history, look at Obama, right? They go, oh, well, Obama fucking deported people, but he gave everybody due process. There were American citizens that were deported under the Obama administration. So if everybody had their due process, how were Americans being deported? You know what I mean? But it wasn't open and in the streets like this. It hadn't boiled over into fucking white suburbs. So it was just neatly swept under the rug, and we don't really have to fucking think about it. Right? That's what the American left fucking wants. They don't give a shit about the atrocities that are happening as long as they don't have to fucking face it.
God damn it, you're right.
That's where I don't see a future, because while we want to rally for change, there's so many people where it's all a fucking fad. We're fucking cattle. And the people in charge view us as such, and they're right to do so. Look at the things that have been revealed in the last year. Bunches of our fucking powerful fucking people in this country are fucking kids. What's come of that?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing, right? Then ICE is in the streets fucking murdering people in broad fucking daylight. What came of that? Absolutely fucking nothing, right? It's time to focus on the next thing. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Shiny thing over here. And we just keep going in every fucking direction they lead us and forget about the fucking past. I mean, you don't forget about it, but you definitely don't hear people talking about the Epstein files or fucking ICE or Gaza like they once did, because it's not the fucking cool thing anymore. And I think that social media plays into this so fucking bad, so badly, because so people who have a platform on social media, who have hundreds of thousands, millions of fucking followers, right, that are on the left, they're big bad leftists, this, that, and the other. They have that platform because they are, as Luis stated earlier, harmless. And the right wing views them as such, so they're allowed to continue on. Like when I had my shit, I blew up and I was fucking canceled
you
immediately.
Had to go through.
Fucking, I'd start a fucking profile,
and then a new TikTok would show up on. Yeah, it would be so funny.
I mean, but you guys both are not wrong, because, like, I mean, look at Portland, guys. Look at where we're from. We're from little fucking Beirut, right? We're a town that fucking, there were wars here in this town that we all know about. And here's the thing. And now, look at ICE. Fucking, there's a Patriot fucking corner at ICE, Ryan, that they allowed, like back, like, not that far long ago when we took it over in 2020, the right wing did not have a presence in a 7 fucking block radius. You know what I'm saying? Because they got fucking handled. There's a reason Proud Boys don't come to our streets. Well, they used to not, right? There was a reason why fucking boneheads, how many bonehead crews, starting with Eastside White Pride, bit the dust here? Volksfront bit the dust. Eastside White Pride bit the dust, dude. Fucking all of those boneheads that are still around, they're fucking hiding under rocks. But not now. They're creeping out because this new generation of leftists sucks.
This has been fun, guys.
I think it boils down to rugged individualism.
It does.
All right, you guys. So it's sounding like fucking Ryan's got to wrap it up. So you know what? We're fucking out of here. Thanks for fucking listening. Ryan, we can't have you hang up until we fucking do the whole 100% thing there. Joe, talk to you soon, Joe.
Yeah.
Kick ass. Fucking fuck the police,
Likewise.
fight the power. Fucking go support good comedy. It's out there. Yeah.
Get one of Ryan's books. Buy one of his horror books. Watch
Yeah.
his movie.
Well, yeah, you can watch. You can read my
Yeah.
horror books if you want. Just be prepared if they're not fun.
They are scary.
They're violent.
Word. Ryan,
All
thank you for coming
Absolutely.
on, my man. I fucking appreciate you. And we'll fucking see you guys
All right.
next week.